Hello and welcome to our next session of Dune, Imperium. We had a bump last time, but we've still got a number of sessions left to play, and we're taking up from there. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this session is part of the Gauntlet Gaming Calendar, which is an online gaming community, gaming group that has a lot of games that go on the calendar each month. We're trying out this 2D20 system from Modiphius. I've played a little bit of other Modiphius games, and this is a fun experiment. We've built our characters in session 0. We've gotten them on stage, and last time they started to dig into the materials. So we are going to take up with that tonight, having our players introduce themselves and the characters, and then we'll take a quick look at safety and all of that before we move on to a little conflict. So I'm going to look at the character sheet here. And I should mention one of our players is not with us tonight. They'll be back next week. So we have a number of issues, particularly with the clan Haida and some of the clans and gangs and stuff that we're going to be tabling a little bit, maybe leaning into the focus on Zerat and their oppositional forces for tonight. So Hayden is off screen right now. So let's start with Stahl. Stahl,
Sure.
Introduce your character.
Sure. So Stahl, he, him pronouns, just like me as a person, and their role is advisor pollinator. They're sort of like the mouthpiece that is not political, but kind of political. They are responsible for proliferating our religious type stuff. And their archetype is the herald.
And last time, how would you say you did? What did you do for the house last time?
I had a conference that went a little bit south, but it wasn't my fault. I was
Mm-hmm.
talking real good, and then some people wanted to kill me, and my bodyguard had to intervene. So the crowd got a nice mix of awe and fear.
Which is actually what you intended in the first place, right?
Yeah, and then I think we ended with me going to explore a site.
Yeah, I think that was the next thing that you were kind of moving on to. All right, so that gives us our pollinator. So then next is Mina.
Actually, could Seraphina introduce? It's raining so hard here
Oh
that I
no!
need to go close the windows real
Please do. Just taunt us with the rain. Thank you. Serafina, please introduce yourself.
I'm happy to. My name's Brandon. I'm playing Seraphina Veer, she, her, who is the Deputy Marshal of House Anthier and a Marduk Academy trained empath, specializing in rapport with others for the purposes of law and other things to assist the house. She grew up on the moon and was mad to go off world and got to do so in the academy. She is generally very soft spoken, yet her words carry. And she has said, voiced her belief that lies poison the soul and has never been known to tell a frank untruth. During the last episode, she went she arranged a meeting with a local organizer named Mulav, who had organized some of the community against the Imperium and who represented a contingent of working people, among others, and persuaded them to ally with House Anthier in a relatively emotional for her appeal. And now she is tasked with the gargantuan responsibility of setting up a system of law in this city, which has known little other than military forces keeping order for the privileged few.
Yeah, so we'll take a look at some of that extended task tonight, the process of getting that in play. And you have Mulav as a strong, high quality ally right now, which brings us back to Ismina.
Yes. So Ismina Corrigan goes by she, her pronouns, as do I, Danielle, and she is the swords master in training. Also kind of a bodyguard, house caretaker, who in last time was sort of guarding Seraphina doing these negotiations, and saw some Zerat would-be ne'er-do-wells about to interfere with this, and kind of broke some of their cover to flash their colors to and kind of reveal her identity a little bit to help scare them off, or at least remind them who they might be messing with. So excited to learn more about that, but she is here to help kind of keep people safe, and did some scanning of the infrastructure and learned a little bit about the city and how it's set up, and that the clans kind of control all of the points, the ends, the exit points, the entry points, and the potential weak points, and one of the strongest one being connected to our spy, or well, our almost spy master.
Oh yeah, almost spy masters. There's some connection there, and mission again is generally finding out about these smugglers, these off-world stripping people, seeing how you can deal with that, stopping them or co-opting, generally winning hearts and minds, discover what might be happening in terms of people fomenting rebellion, and then importantly for Ismina, looking to the defenses as you were scanning and seeing how that would be managed. Now, before we go too much further, just a quick reminder on our lines and veils. Just to check in one more time because we missed a session. We have hard lines on homophobia and sexual assault, as well as torture. And then veils on eye injuries and harm to children. And then ask first on a PC betrayal. So that is the area that we're in. That's the situation. There was a stabbing last time. If Hayden had been here, probably would have described that particular moment as well. But you have done a lot during the day. You're returning in after night. Tell me, what is the atmospheric effect? Like when it falls to darkness, we get the clouds, we can see the stars. What is the atmospheric effect after dark that we see of this gravatic wildness that is to the north, Fraser? Does it create an aurora? Does it change the way the stars go? Does it create clouds? What do we see?
Maybe it looks like the stars are like reverse shooting stars, like going upwards, like raining up.
Yeah, it pulls the light in strange ways as it goes, and you are all three of you. You have a couple of the house guard people that were advance people with you that are coming along. You're going back to this safe house that you are headed towards. One end of the street has like stalls and a market to it. This is the end, to say the east end of the street that this is on. Tell me something else about this area where the stalls and the carts and market are, Serafina.
The basic color of most things is kind of a dun, and the marketeers make up for that by very colorfully dyed cloths that they hang to showcase their wares, and that they often that they wear as clothing, but especially they are color. If you are familiar with the market, you can tell what people sell because of the colors of the banners that they put up. So that you can see at a distance, that this is a person who is selling electronics or a person who's selling pottery, because they've all agreed on sort of a color coding, red against a field of green and things like that. And the whole thing makes for a riot of colors that liven up what otherwise might be a rather drab landscape.
And that may have been one of the, we talked about this being an industrial chemical world before. That may be one of the things they did was making these dyes. And as you know, dye manufacturing, especially industrial dye manufacturing, very caustic, a lot of runoff and things like that. So that may be one of the things. They have a lot of colored materials, even in this sort of dark, blackened place that we're at. Across the street from your safe house, there is a place where there was a building or a center or some kind of structure. What happened to that? Is Mina, like, what kind of shape is it in now?
The gravatic anomaly. Sorry, I missed the very first bit of that.
Oh, so like across the street, imagine, okay, we've got the safe house. Down on the east end, we've got the shopping cart and stuff. You kind of moved along. Maybe down the other end, maybe there's some broken up area, like road that's kind of potholed. But across the street is another building that has fallen into disrepair. I don't know if it's collapsed. I don't know if it's just vacant. What has happened with that building across the way?
I think that it's an abandoned warehouse for what they used to make parts for the previous industry on the planet, and the fact that it was owned by the previous house and it had to do with their industry and it wasn't the locals means that like it is now no longer being used. So it's kind of like big, what we can tell through windows is like big empty rooms, a lot of like mechanical arms kind of hanging over into nowhere.
So what is the thing? What is the detail that tells you that an attack is imminent?
I think or at least Ismina has started seeing lights on, carefully hidden evidence of lights on through the windows at night. Like there are people there disguising themselves, but there are people inside of there now that were not there before.
So I think you catch that. It might even have been somebody using like a directional light to signal to someone else. You catch that out of the corner of your eye. You're fairly close to the front of your building with the walk up and entryway and such, but you're kind of out a little bit in the open. So you will realize that 2 or 3 of these people that are walking on the street have shifted their gait. They've changed their way to the things. They've got kind of cloaks over them. They feel like they are the foot troops that are kind of moving in to get between you and the front of this place. But you will pick up in your mind, there's somebody in that building, which suggests to you that they probably have some kind of ranged weapon. And it's sort of as you realize that you realize that there's somebody with a much more practiced, balanced, skillful gait has picked up the speed of their footsteps and is coming up from the cart side.
Okay.
So that is the situation that we now enter into. And this is going to be our first sort of play out of a conflict. So it will maybe take a little bit more to kind of want to explain. You are in the zone that is outside of the street, out in the street right now. The adjacent zones to that are the east end of the street with the cart, the west end of the street, which has essentially potholes. Then next to that is this abandoned building with somebody in it, and then your building. So those are our zones. But right now, you are in the zone of that sort of open street. Right now with you, there's somebody coming up from behind, and these three figures that are in the zone with you. So typically what we do for the initiative here with this system is we'll start with someone. They'll take their action. Then they can either hand it off to the opposing side, and the opposing side goes, or you can spend 2 momentum, if you have it, to either act again at a little bit higher difficulty, or pass the initiative to one of your allies immediately. So that's the way that works. It's a little bit like popcorn initiative from Fate and things, but with a little bit of an expense and mechanical heft going on to it. So tell me, Ismina, what do you want to do?
I would like to, so I hear the sound of footsteps kind of heading toward us in our direction.
These 3 that are, you go like, okay, those are people. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can take them easily, or even my friends can take them. There's enough skill. Yeah. The person's coming behind me has enough skill. They probably got a close-in weapon, and they're probably trained.
Yeah. So she's going to kind of like murmur three up ahead, to kind of like warn them, and then whirl around, and she's going to try pull her bottle of nerve affecting poisons and like get some on her fingers and have it up and just wipe it like under their nose at like while and just kind of be like, I wouldn't keep moving if I were you.
Okay, so that is the asset that you're bringing to bear. He's in the same zone as you, so you don't have to move to engage him. He will roll after you. You roll your attack roll, and then he rolls his roll to defend. Okay.
So is that extra, or each of those things extra dice, or that's just not taking away dice?
It's not. So basically the asset that you have is what like determining the effect that you're doing. Okay. And you don't have to move, so there's no extra cost and difficulty or no extra actions you have to do. So basically it's you saying what's your drive plus battle. What do you think is going to be appropriate there?
I think it's duty, because it's to defend the people I'm with, and also I have a suspicion it has to do with house things.
Okay.
So is that 2d20?
So you roll 2d20. Okay. You're looking for 15s or less. Okay. And a 1 counts as 2 successes on that. Now, there's 1 momentum left in the pool.
Oops, I already rolled.
Ooh, good. No, that's good. That says to you that you were confident in your abilities, and you just wanted to go ahead. That's what I like to see.
That's exactly why
this is battle. You have to decide.
Yeah. So that's 2 successes.
Oh, it is. Right, 13.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1 of my threat, and I'm going to roll 3d20 for his defense on this. Okay. So he has 3 successes.
Oh man.
So you will turn and do that. And when you bring that up, you will see he assumes a dueling stance, and the sort of the knife comes up and doesn't hit your hand, but pushes it away as his blade comes out. And has a little bit of the edge on you. I don't have enough to really do anything extra with just that one success, so he is more kind of pushing you back a little bit there. So because you've only got one momentum, it will go to me.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
Would she be able to direct one of our allies to mess the guy up or something? Or does that take part of her turn?
That would be an action.
Oh, okay.
That would be an action to do that, I believe. Let me take a look at the ability and let's see what it says here.
Yeah, I'm just realizing that I needed to swap out one of my skills for an actual combat one. That's a
Okay.
little bit more.
So you can do that on your following turn. They can assist you. They can do something on their own. It doesn't take up your action, but it's something you do on your turn.
Okay.
Okay. So you pass it to me, and I gratefully take the initiative from you. And I think that what we're going to see is the guy inside the building is going to fire off something towards where the greater mass of people, Stahl and Serafina, are. Stahl, Serafina, when this flash goes off in front of you, what do you think is the appropriate skill to resist essentially getting blinded?
If we didn't see it coming, I would think it's discipline, and it depends.
Okay.
If it's completely blindsided, then I guess it's discipline and power.
Okay.
If like a window broke as he fired the round, then I could argue for something else.
Okay. Let's see what I roll for the difficulty. So right now, so what's going to happen is I make my attack roll first, and then you can kind of pick your choice on defenses here. So I roll. So I've got 2 successes right there. So pretty good. This is essentially what he's trying to do is apply the blinded trait to you, which lowers difficulty to hit you ongoing for the rest of the scene. So Serafina, why don't you roll that defense roll?
Okay. So I'll do that. And I'll spend our momentum.
Okay.
Let's roll the 3rd die.
Leaving you out in the cold, Fraser.
Pardon?
Leaving you out in the cold. Okay. So how many successes is that, Serafina?
That's 1.
1 success. So you will be hit by this. Right now you have a condition on you that is blinded. All that does is it lowers essentially it raises effectively your difficulty for defense is what's going to happen from now. Stahl, what do you want to roll?
I think looking at discipline, it does seem like a thing. It's for subverting body or mind and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do have communicate composure, but composure's like a verbal thing. So, or could it? Oh no! Well, battle is avoid danger, and this is dangerous too. So
that
maybe
seems fair.
battle's more appropriate.
Yeah, I think that works.
This seems dangerous-y.
Yeah. What is your drive that's driving you here?
I think it's duty. A person is an appendage of the house.
Okay.
I don't want to mess them up. I'm just a hand.
Okay.
So that's 2 dice.
2 dice. You're looking for 11 or less.
Okay.
Okay.
1.
So you're going to get 1 success. Now, you could spend your determination
Oh.
if you think that your duty statement, if you want to burn through that to reroll.
I'd like to do that because I've forgotten about determination.
Okay, let's have
But I'll
Sarah.
let, but
Yeah.
I'll let
Stall, do you want to spend that? I mean, you're losing money not spending it.
Yeah, right. No, I'll be fine. It makes sense that I'm
Okay.
blinded anyway. I'm
Yeah,
just
so-
a priest.
Hit you in the that flash in your face. Seraphina, let's have you reroll. You
Okay,
can
especially because
reroll.
I'm gonna and yes, and this time I'm invoking my duty. I can't permit myself to fail.
Okay.
I
So
have
you'll keep the 1 success and you can reroll the other 2 dice.
okay. I got 1 more.
That's 2 successes. So you
Yes.
managed to catch like some sort of motion, turn your head away before it hits. So
Okay. Camera
I-
from
Pardon?
camera from Seraphina's point of view. The round crashes through a window, and from Seraphina's point of view, time slows down just a little bit as her mental conditioning kicks in, and she sees the thing bounce, and then she turns her head away at just the last moment.
hits, flash, there's some shouting there. Stall. What do you want to do?
I want to be blinded.
You
Or-
are. You are. It's
okay.
going to make it harder for you to defend effectively.
We'll see. So how many are there
Currently in your zone,
yeah.
there are these 3 troops,
In front
plus
of me?
the sword person who is engaged with your sword person. In the adjacent zone is this person who's fired off this flash, and probably has another ranged weapon as well.
A bad person hit a flare?
Yeah, he's the bad guy who fired the flash. Yes.
That's no good. I'll go for him because he's signaling for help
Okay.
with unarmed combat.
Okay. So now to get up to him, you're gonna have to move into that adjacent zone.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And this is a game that has maneuvering and so on. Let's look at these actions here. So you can move into that zone. Now, if you want,
Mhm.
you could try and move in a funky way. Okay, because your action's going to be moving over there, but you could try to move over there subtly. If you try and move over there subtly, then the cost to keep the initiative is nothing. You can keep the initiative. You can move boldly. You could just charge over there. If you do, then you provoke a response and you can actually move one of the other people here or an asset that tries to respond, like one of the guys follows you, or this guy's whatever gun he has in his hand, because that's the thing you can move, gets out of range to aim, so he'd have to switch to another weapon.
Okay, so if I try to move boldly, there's a chance that a secondary effect in
it's a difficulty. Yeah, it's a difficulty 2 test. But if you succeed, then it's cool because you get to move something. Now, if you fail,
yes,
I get to move one of my people or things.
right. So would it be move and then their action, or do I move and then get to take an action and then they take an action?
Oh, so what it is we're still on this first sort of round. This is your action. You can choose to move. It may trigger an additional effect, but then we would go on with the regular initiative order.
So it consumes my entire action doing this.
Yes.
Though.
Yes.
Okay.
Not my favorite mechanic in a game, but there we are.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll do it boldly.
Okay. So what does that look like, and what are you rolling to do that? What do you think is the appropriate skill for charging, trying to jump into this building and get at this effectively sniper?
I think it looks like more like move and not battle, because it seems like battle is a direct conflict thing or recalling something about history of the conflict. So it looks like move.
Okay. Move, and is this still duty or?
I think so.
Okay. So that's 10 or less, rolling 2d20.
1.
That is one success. So I think you take off, run. You will get into that building, like you come crashing through. But I think that this guy moves and gets his gun on you. That's what gets moves, is he moves it over to get you covered with that gun. He's already acted this round, so you want to go before him on the following round, or he is going to shoot you. You hand initiative back to me.
Yeah, we don't have momentum, do we?
Not yet.
Yeah. So I graciously yield.
Yeah, graciously yield the floor. So of these three that are on the ground, these troops, one of them will move to kind of block getting into your safe house. Another one moves to engage your guards that are with you. And the third one is coming at you, Seraphina. Essentially, simple, basic street blade comes out, and this guy is going to try and take a stab at you. Not particularly trained, but let's see what he gets. Well, he gets 2 successes, but he's going to break his blade. So what do you want to roll to defend?
I'm rolling battle because I don't really have a choice here.
Okay.
And duty, I can't. Again, I may not be that good at this, but I can't fail.
Okay.
I may not fail. And I got 2 successes.
2 successes. So that is just enough. What does that look like? How is it that do you parry it? Do you dodge it?
When just after Esmina reached for her weapon, I had flicked a knife. I had seeing people tense up on the street. I had flicked a knife into my hand, and when this guy comes for me, I managed to seize his wrist and ground his blade, and it snaps off.
Nice.
Nice. And he stumbles and recovers himself, but he's lost his weapon.
Lost his weapon. It clatters to the ground there. I pass initiative to you, Seraphina. You're the person who's left on your side, so it is your action.
I'm going to try to gut my erstwhile attacker.
Okay, and what weapon do you have on you?
I have 2 weapons. I have basically a knife and a sidearm.
Okay.
And we're in knife fighting territory.
Oh yeah,
because that's what I brought to hand. So that's what I'm trying to. So I'm trying to. I will slash at him as he recovers from his stumble.
Okay. Let's go ahead and have you. What is the skill you're using with that?
The skill I'm using is battle and duty.
Duty. Okay. Sounds
and
good.
I got 2 successes.
2 successes. So I'm going to roll for him. So he gets 1 success, which is not enough. So this is a non-named NPC. And when you hit a non-named NPC, We hear that sound. And we see you hit and drop him to the ground.
I bless my martial arts teacher, who always said that, who repeatedly told me that I learned nothing. But evidently it wasn't 100% true.
I come back. The last person to go is going to be this swords person. And they are going to try and slash at you. In fact, it looks like what they're going to try and do is attack your blade and get that out of your hand. It's a little more challenging, but they're going to take that shot there. So I'm going to roll for them, and then you can defend. So I've got, with that, it's actually going to be 3 successes with the specialty there. So just enough. But you should have something here. You've got your battle. This is your battle skill. What do you think is your drive that's appropriate here?
This is Seraphina.
This is for Ismina.
Oh, okay, yeah,
sorry.
because I'm not sure she drew a blade yet, or
Oh, that's right.
She just had her bottle of poison out.
That's
and
right. Then in fact that's probably what he's knocking away. So it's
Okay.
not a great loss at this moment, but you do want to defend. Do you have any do you have a focus that works with this?
Well, I was trying to look up the definition of resolve, which I think it's similar to determination. It had a mechanical focus, and I can't remember exactly what it was.
Sure, let's see. Let's look at
I
the.
was looking because it was one that came with the template, and I switch out. But I think that resolve, in a sense of like forging ahead despite a lot of stress in
okay.
in
So a mental focus, pushing through, stamina, all of
think-
that. Okay.
I think that the current swords master has a very like rapiers and old-fashioned sword play kind of a vibe, and I think that that's how she's trained very hard to be very good at disarming people, and kind of avoids that and uses slightly different weapons.
So do you think your resolve applies here for yeah, okay. Then go ahead and roll, and 7 or less is 2 successes.
Okay, so it's just rolling for
battle plus what do you think, duty? Okay, 15 or less, 7 or less are 2 successes.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so that's 4 successes, meaning that you will get a momentum from that, and you keep a hold of your asset. You could spend that momentum immediately, like to ask a question or something, or you can put it into the group pool if you'd like.
Oh yeah, we kind of need it in the group pool, but I want to knock. Is this person wearing a hood? Like, is it hard to see them? Are they wearing a?
Yeah, of course they are disguised. They're assassins.
Of course. Man, I think I'll put it in the pool right
Okay.
now, but
all right.
time.
So that's the end of that round. We come around to the next round. Now, as a group, you can decide who you want to have go first on your side. I generally would suggest either Ismina as your battle-hardened warrior, or Stahl, who has a gun aimed at them.
Yeah, I was gonna say Stahl has to go before that person, because otherwise he's gonna get shot.
Okay.
So I'm cool with that.
So Stahl, what are you doing? You kind of come through into this building. There's a guy cloaked. He has essentially the little dart thrower pistol. You've kind of rolled in there, and he's gonna, he's raising this up. What do you want to do?
So do I need to disarm him, or can I directly attack him?
You can directly attack him if you want.
I would like to do that.
Okay.
Put him down.
Absolutely. Okay.
Hope for a red shirt.
He is not a red shirt. I will tell you that.
Well, maybe when I'm determined he is.
Yeah, we'll see. You've got a momentum in the pool here.
Right.
So what do you want to do? This is battle plus.
Battle plus probably still duty. Yeah, just acting like the house.
Absolutely.
I don't think this is a truth hurting this person.
Okay. I will tell you right now, I have one success to defend, and he is, regardless of what you do, going to lose his weapon because of the complication I rolled.
Oh.
Ooh, nice roll.
Are you supposed to tell us that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Felt like cheating. Okay, so would I, as a player, know how many successes I should shoot for to take the person out, or is it opaque as to like what I see in the fiction?
So I'll tell you, because we're kind of getting used to how the mechanics work more than anything. I think that's the most important thing. So different people resist with like skills, and the
Right.
value of their skill is how much they resist by. So, for example, this guy has 4 points. Okay. When you land a blow, you're going to do 2 points. And then you can increase the quality of that hit by an additional point for every 2 momentum that you spend.
Or I could use 1 momentum for an extra die that could get me an extra success.
Could get you extra successes right now. Yeah. You're doing 3d20, and maybe you could get a whole bunch of successes.
And then if I fail them, I could use determination to re-roll them.
Yes, if it fits with your duty statement.
Duty. A person is an appendage of the house.
Okay.
Does that apply?
Yeah, if you think you're laying yourself open, I will gladly take that.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Very ominous. Okay. Is it just so just 3D?
You're rolling 3d20, and this is, do we think this is battle?
Yes.
Or move? Battle?
Battle, yeah.
Plus what drive?
Is a duty.
Okay, so you need 11s or less. You're rolling 3d20.
Does my unarmed combat focus help?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What does that do?
If you get 6 or less, it counts as 2 successes.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Okay, let's see if the dice are with me.
They are.
Ooh.
So that is 5 successes.
4. It's a 4.
Oh yeah, poor. Okay, so that. So we know that 1 success it takes to hit this person.
Right.
And then you've got, if you spend 2 momentum, you'll do an extra additional damage. So they'll be wounded but not out. And then you'll have 1 momentum left that you could spend.
To kill him?
Well, no, to ask a question, because it takes 2 momentum to raise up the damage by 1.
Okay.
You could throw it in the pool. You could ask a question.
Is there a way to increase it at all? Get an extra momentum?
Well, you could spend your determination and re-roll that 16 and hope you got more.
Or you could use threat, but maybe that's not great.
Use threat?
So threat is the other thing, but you need to do that before you roll. Essentially, it's a way of generating, if you need more momentum, you can give me threat, which means I get more stuff to throw at you. Essentially, you give me more hard move ammunition.
Okay. Oh, but couldn't I spend a momentum to use another action?
No, it takes 2.
2 actions.
It always takes 2.
Yes,
Okay.
I know. It's a weird little system here.
Okay, well,
the one I already put in there, or did
He
somebody
did. So you could put it back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it back then.
Okay.
I don't need no question. All I want from this guy is to be dead or hurt.
But he rolled a complication. So what does that unarmed strike look like when you hit him?
I think we get like a a Matrix moment where the gun is up to my head with a dodge this, and then I do dodge it, and I punch him in the head.
Falls back. His gun hits against one of these pillars and breaks. He will kind of shake it off and rush at you to essentially try and wrap his arm around your throat and probably try to choke you out here. So I'm going to go ahead and roll my attack roll here. This guy on you. He has 1 success for his attack on you. And that is you, Stall.
Oh, so I need to roll to block.
Yes.
So I think it's the same thing then, right? Still battle and still duty?
Yeah.
So 2d20. We'll clear that. 3 and a 1.
Oof. That's 4 successes.
So this is with unarmed combat.
Yes.
Okay. So that's 4 successes that you're going to get there against his 1. So number 1 is you easily turn that aside. But number 2 is you've got 3 momentum. Let me tell you what you could do with that. You could ask a question. You could spend 2 momentum to put a tag on the scene, or you could put that in the pool. That is another option for you.
Can I use it to go again, or does it have to be in the pool to do that?
So what it is somebody else could spend 2 momentum on their action, essentially to, after they go, to give you another action, if that's in the pool.
Oh, that sounds fun. Okay, I'll put it all in the momentum.
Okay. So that'll take us up to, I believe, 4 momentum that is hanging in the pool.
Yes.
This guy has gone. Fraser, who goes next? Is it Serafina or is it Esmina?
Ismina's the one in the most imminent danger, right? With the and
I-
holding a poison.
There is that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So Ismina, what do you want to do here?
I think after dodging his like attempt to disarm me, I would like to pay him the favor back and use some kind of like judo adjacent move to disarm to get his sword.
Okay. So I will roll for his defense here. 2d20. Oh, and he only gets 1 success on that. I'll save my threat for the moment. So go ahead. I think this is still battle, right?
Yep.
And duty. Let's have
Yep,
you roll.
this is all right. Would resolve count, like if she's kind of attacking him unarmed to disarm him with a weapon?
I think because you're being aggressive, I don't think resolve would
Okay.
apply necessarily for an aggressive action there.
Okay, so that's more of a defensive. Got it.
Now you have momentum. You could spend
Okay.
some of that to get extra dice.
She rolled
Once
up.
again, I already accidentally rolled,
All right.
like,
But you
keep
got 2
forgetting.
successes.
2 successes. So you will beat that by 1. So yeah, you will knock. Do you want to take his longer blade out or his shorter blade out?
I think I want, yeah, as he's coming out with the longer blade, I think she wants to pull the shorter blade, like get in close and kind of like pull it and have it at his like throat, kind of a thing.
Yeah, you kind of got him locked up blade to blade. He can't get that up as well as he wanted to. Now, you didn't spend any momentum. You could spend 2 momentum to either act immediately again with a higher difficulty, or hand it off to one of your compatriots. If they haven't gone yet, then there's no extra cost on their action. If they have, then it just increases difficulty by 1.
Okay. So Is Seraphine in a different zone from where I am?
No, Seraphine is still in this zone. Stahl
Okay.
has moved into a different zone, engaging with that person who's very badly wounded over there.
Okay. All right. I think that while I have him, I want to get this stupid hood off, but we kind of need the momentum to iron out the threat. So unless you think that it's an okay thing for me to spend the momentum, I just don't want to do that on my own. Like,
Thoughts?
Okay.
Okay, let's have
Okay.
you hold. We've got 4 momentum there.
Using the momentum would be to, it's unlikely to take out your guy right away, but
okay. Well then I will pass it to Seraphina.
Okay.
So I'll let him-
Seraphina, then now, so you're gonna spend 2 momentum and let Seraphina go right away? Or do you want to have
okay,
one of the
right,
bad
right.
guys go?
Oh, I have to spend it to can I already used my action, so I can't use my skill to direct Seraphina to go where she can move even though it's not her action. Use my direct move or talent.
Oh yeah, you know
We
what?
had an hour.
Yeah, if you wanna expend that for the scene to essentially get that extra action, I'm fine with that. That seems like a reasonable way to use that.
Okay.
So you want to have Seraphina go, or you want to have Stahl go?
I think I wait. Stall, are you in imminent danger?
he's kicking the other guy's butt.
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say
the guy
totally
doesn't have a
kicking out.
gun yet anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're fine. I was like, wait, did I forget something? No. Yeah, I think Ismina calls out to Seraphina like it's they may be stronger than we thought, but could use your help over here. Something like that.
So Seraphina, you will look up, after that thing, you will see there's one of these troop guys who's still sort of on the ground and moving. And there's that swordsman that Ismina is dueling with. And then a very badly injured a person who Stahl is working over across the way.
I'm going to draw my pistol and shoot the one that Seraphina's got locked up.
Okay. Then
Shoot the one that Ismina rather has locked up. Excuse me.
absolutely. Then go ahead and make that attack roll.
Spend a momentum.
Let me roll his defense here.
Oof.
So he is going to get 2 successes with that.
Okay. So I need to get 3 to get through him, huh?
Yeah.
That's not likely.
Spend some momentum.
I had to spend a lot.
So yeah,
just not that good of a shot. So let me see. No, I'm going to leave the momentum in the pool.
okay.
3 successes is just too unlikely for me. But I'll roll anyway.
Let's have you take that shot there.
And I got 1.
Got
so,
1.
Yeah,
So that will fire off into the area. Now, another thing we're not using right now, but sometimes there might be environmental traits that people could call on to reduce difficulties, things like that. That we're not making it too complicated here, so we're not dealing with that. So Seraphina, do you want to spend 2 and hang on to that, or
no,
should
I'm going to give it to the bad guys.
Okay. Then I think this guy who's unengaged on the ground is going to move up on you since you dropped his pal. And he is essentially going to try and, since he sees you as a gun, he's trying to hit you, knock you down. I have a success to hit you.
Okay, now I will spend the momentum.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good, reasonable thing. So need one success to defend.
And I got one.
Got one success.
But I also have a calamity or whatever that's called.
Okay. It's complication. So with one success, he's not going to do any harm to you. But I think he does make it like knock your pistol away such that you're going to have to get clear of him before you can take any kind of ranged attack.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I believe that's everybody on your side and my side that has gone. I believe. So
no, the guy that I am dealing with hasn't gone.
That's right. He is again.
You threw him into a pile of garbage or whatever.
Yeah. He is still bleeding a bit. So he is going to try and knock you down. Like that is what he wants to put on you, is knocked down, maybe so he can kill you, or maybe you can steal your stuff. You're not sure what, but he is desperately trying to get you knocked to the ground. So his attack roll. He has one success for this unarmed thing because he can't bring his gun up to bear on you.
Aha. Okay, so unarmed combat.
Yep.
And the appendage of the house again, I believe.
Absolutely.
So let's see if the dice stay with me here. A 3 and a 13.
So that's 3 successes, right?
I think so, because of the unarmed combat.
Yeah.
What's your skill?
Yeah.
The battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to get 3 successes. So you've got 2 momentum. So you could put that in the pool, or you could, for example, use it to apply a trait to him, like knock him down, make him easier to hit if you wanted to with that 2 points.
It might actually just be 2 successes. Because wouldn't it be 11 that I'm going for?
Oh, you're right. So you've just got 1. Do you want to put that 1 in the pool, or do you want to ask a question? That would be the other usual thing to do.
Okay. And it takes more than 1 to put a condition on them or whatever?
Yeah, 2 points to put a trait on someone.
Okay. And what that reduces difficulty if hit upon later, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you've got that blinded, which I keep forgetting to say, reduce the difficulty to hit you.
Well, I keep rolling 3s anyway.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Blinded actually helps me.
Yes.
Yeah, I fight better like
Zen thing.
Yeah.
Yes. I will ask the question, who sent these people, if I can.
The thing that will strike you is you kind of get a glance at their like dress on this guy and so on, is these don't look like House Zerat, but they definitely have religious markings and signs and symbols. It says to you that these are people, followers of some kind of local faith or something, the kind of faith that you would manipulate in a good way, but that others might bring to bear. And they have just that edge of fanaticism that says to you that they are religious operatives. Does that sound like fair info?
Yes. If only I could use my Religilab.
Bring it in. So we start the next round. Fraser, who on your side goes first?
We'll say Serafina is being attacked, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And as is Ismina.
Oh, right. And the other guy still has a sword, right?
Ismina has his sword locked up.
Yeah.
But doesn't he have 2 swords?
He has the knife.
I have his other sword.
Yeah.
I
So
have his other knife.
Okay, well, which of you want to go first?
Have Ismina go first.
Ismina, you've got a ton of momentum in the pool.
Yeah.
You're fighting this swords person here. So what do you want to do to him?
I think I think while she kind of has his blade locked up, I think she wants to transfer the knife to her other hand and kind of like cut part of his leg, kind of like really so that he can't move or walk. She just wants to totally disable.
Okay.
And string him.
So one of the ways we can do this is do a simple attack, and then if you get some extra successes, you can put that into applying a trait.
Okay.
Do you want to spend momentum? Do you want to spend one to give yourself 3 dice?
Yes, spend some momentum.
Yes, I will do that. And also I want to make sure that I leave 2, because if anyone fails a critical roll, I can use those 2 momentum to help to let you re-roll.
Oh, okay.
That's one of my skills.
So we'll drop the momentum to 3.
Okay.
You roll 3d20. Now hold on. Before you roll, do you have a specialty you think is applying to this? A focus?
No, if resolve only applies to
More defensive at this
defensive.
point.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll what for them. So let's see here. Let's just do their 2d20. So I will have 2 successes to defend here. So roll
All right.
3d20.
Okay. Oof. Again, only 2.
Do you want to spend determination to
Oh,
re-roll? If you think it
yes.
applies for your duty there, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then re-roll that 19.
Yeah, as this person is displaying really admirable skill here. Hey.
So that's going to be 3 successes. So you are going to land that blow on him. Now, are you more interested in dealing the damage or wounding him to apply that trait?
I think wounding him to apply that trait, because I would love to still interrogate him after.
Then that blade will cut across the back of his leg, and you'll see he kind of goes down, and you can see through the mask that he immediately realizes that this is make or break, that he can no longer run if the situation gets bad. So do you want to hand initiative over to the other side?
Sure, yeah.
Then this guy is going to try and bring his fist up into your midsection to give you a blow and knock you back off of him.
Okay.
And he is
Can
going
I-
to, yes.
Oh, no. I was just going to say on my defend, I could roll discipline, like self-control, because that's like weathering.
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
like weathering poisons and stuff.
I've got 2 successes because he no longer is using his blade.
Okay. Oh, is this another like I was using my left hand the whole time? It turns out I'm better at
no.
other
He
combat.
if he had his blade in his hand, he would have actually gotten 3 successes.
Okay.
But essentially, his specialty was in the blades. That's gone for him.
Okay.
You may, and actually, let me think about this now. He has 2 successes, but you wounded him to essentially to reduce that. So he actually, because of that, effectively it takes away a success. So difficulty to hit him is 1. So you need to do at least two successes to hit him, or to dodge him.
To dodge specifically. Okay. I might spend a momentum to roll 3 just to make sure that I can nail that. And then I'm using discipline and duty to either take the blow.
That seems fair.
Like trying to punch Harry Houdini in the stomach kind of situation.
I
got 2.
Get 2 successes. So he goes to hit at you and essentially doesn't connect there. And
can that also activate my to fight someone is to know them, which is when if I win a conflict using discipline, I get 2 bonus momentum points that I can use to obtain information.
You absolutely get that 100%.
Okay.
Do you want to spend either of those momentum points right now to ask a question?
Yes, I think he punches her, and because she doesn't dodge in the right way and just kind of like absorbs it, like leans forward and kind of like yanks his mask off, and she's like, who are you? What business do you have with House Anthir?
And pull that off, and you see he has some marks, not unlike some from your house, that seem like religious tattoos. And he says, I am in the service of the returner,
I know them.
and I will fall before I say any more.
You kind of look like you have already fallen, but
So you've still got one momentum to ask another question. You can ask it right now, or you can hang on to it to ask.
I will hang on to it.
Okay. So we've done the exchange of you and this person. Serafina, do you want to go next?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to take out the one who's attacking me.
Okay.
I still have my knife. And so do you roll defenses first?
Oh, I've got no successes. So
Okay, well,
roll. You get at least one success.
I'll see if I'm going to. I'll see if my shame my combat measure. Nope.
Oh,
I got one, but I left my knife in him. Clearly.
yeah. What is it that? Where do you hit him that you just can't get that knife back out?
I didn't. I meant to stab him in the stomach, but he moved at the last minute and it went between two ribs. And so when he falls, it just rips the knife out of my hand.
Yeah, drops down to the ground there. So do you want to? You could activate stall to go immediately, or I'm going to have my guy go.
I'll have your guy go.
Okay. So stall. This guy is going to try and get up and I think get away. He's badly wounded. The other people are down. So I think what he's going to try and do is essentially push you out of the zone is his goal right now. But when he goes to do that and he lunges at you, there is that moment when he grabs at you and puts his hand through some rusted metal that's there. You may roll your defense because that can still generate momentum.
Oh, okay. Is it possible to defend by talking to him, or is that weird?
Tell me how you would do that.
I would tell him his only play here is to surrender. And we at House Anthir are very forgiving people. We would take you in no matter what you have done. As you can see, we're both mighty and merciful.
See, now that feels more like an attack on him.
Okay.
It does,
doesn't it?
But I mean, you're giving him another option to choose besides attacking.
Yeah. No, but I mean, that's the thing you do on your turn is what I was saying.
Yeah. So if you I think for defense here, I think the physical defense is what you're going to have to do for that. Sure. But then we can turn that into that attack that you're going to do.
I become the attack. Okay, so same thing, 11 battle duty.
Yeah.
Shazam.
So look at that. Two successes. That's 2 momentum that go into the pool. And right away, you can act.
Sure. So maybe I'll spend 1 momentum to put it to 3 momentum.
Yeah.
And then try to talk him down with what I said. Maybe downplaying the mighty aspect of it. Mostly just merciful.
All right. He gets 1 success to defend, but I think the complication and the wounded he's got is going to eat that up. So I think that you just need to roll.
Okay. And so can I do communicate with composure?
Absolutely. That seems like a good, you kind of steady yourself, make that clear, and talk to him.
And maybe truth, because I'm not lying.
Nice.
So 13 and 3 dice.
3 dice.
All right, come on. Ooh. An 8 and then
Okay.
an 18 and 15.
So that will hit. Now, mind you, here's the thing is that stress that you did, that extra, I mean, now this is an attack action. Whatever effect you do counts towards that damage track. So it will stack on that. So I think there is that moment when he kind of pulls his hand back and looks and kind of slumps to the ground, as much from pain as it is from realizing the situation that he's in. Let's come back around on that round. What do you want to do there, Ismina?
I think Seraphina said that she knew this order or this returner. Does that mean that she knows who's in charge? Because I think that she would want to know.
No, I just
who's-
recognized.
It basically what Seraphina might recognize is that kind of name is typically done for certain religious control, fundamental setting up of things. So this guy is definitely from a manufactured faith here, directed against you.
Yeah, I think she would want to know, like, I think she's like, then if you know about us, the way to interact with us is to have your superiors come speak to our religious people, like we do this out in the open, but if you stab us in the back, we can't show you mercy like this. But I think she wants to know who are the people in charge, basically.
Sure. Let's have you, what do you think is your role to kind of analyze his demeanor and behavior?
Yeah, probably an understand, but it would be through duty to the house.
Yeah, let's have you roll.
So that's a 5 and an 8. So okay. Ooh.
So that's a success. So what is your question?
I think her question is who are your superiors, like, in the city, like who sent you, kind of.
I think that you realize that based on the little styles and tricks that this person has been taught, based on what these aren't Zerat people, but you were told that there might be sleeper cells from the family that used to own this.
Oh.
And you think that that's who this guy's with. Like, clearly some kind of agents of the house must have stayed behind and have been working the last few years to establish a syncretic artificial faith, some sort of figure called the returner, a promise of redemption, that kind of thing. And that's what this person is locked into.
Okay. The people, basically, we've inherited a religiously booby-trapped planet.
Right. And I'm going to spend my threat. I think as that guy steps back, there is that moment where he draws the blade across himself.
Yeah, as that happens, I think she just curses under her breath and she's like, fanatics just can't work with them.
And then you turn and the camera goes to stall when you say that. So
yeah.
it's a pity because sometimes you can. But I thought you had him.
Well, I had him, but what are you gonna? I didn't secure his blade arm soon enough.
I put a hand on your arm. You did wonderfully well from what I saw. It would have taken a superhuman effort to keep him from killing himself.
Let's take a quick 5 bio break. And when we come back, we'll kind of deal with the aftermath, do some interactions, PC interactions, NPC interactions, and run ourselves up to the end of the hour. Okay.
Okay.
So the other agents of your house will move to clean up the people on the street, get this covered over to make it seem more like some kind of just street attack, enough of violence in the city that it doesn't seem entirely unusual. They will apologize for not having seen the attack ahead of time. So, Stahl, what do we see of you in the sort of the aftermath of this? I assume you've bandaged this person and put him under watch in the house.
Yeah. If anything, I'd be attempting to like deprogram him or send him off to our deprogrammers at the house or whatever, like religious deprogrammers.
So what are you saying to him? Are you are you more trying to get information, or are you more trying to get him in a position where you can move him without any worry?
Yeah, like to get him to sort of trust us, to know, to kind of show off what the house is about, and kind of like deconstruct what his beliefs are, like in the sense that they're not particularly new or whatever. Like with my original lab, I can just be like, Stoicism existed in 1836, my man.
So this feels like an extended task. This is something you're starting on. I would say difficulty 2, but I think you've got an asset there that we've defined as appropriate. So I'll let that work to difficulty 1. What do you think is your appropriate skill and drive to do this work? And do you have any of those talents that would apply to affect this?
I'm gonna communicate, I think.
Okay.
I do have masterful innuendo, but I don't know if it would apply. When you attempt a communication test, you can increase the difficulty to conceal a message. Would that be like subliminal messaging him or something?
It's typically used, I think, so that you could, for example, give a speech while telling, saying, I've been very well treated, while communicating to, the people who know how to read your words, exactly that you're being tortured daily or something.
Gotcha. Okay, so probably don't need to do that.
Okay.
And then...
So communicate, definitely.
Yeah.
And what drive? Is this faith?
Yeah, philosophy is a sharp blade.
Okay.
This is the secondary what I do.
Let's have you roll.
Okay. And so with the astrolabe, does that give me another die, or what does that do?
No, it reduced the difficulty. So instead of it, you need 2 successes, you only need 1.
Okay. A 6 and a 2.
Nice.
So you get an extra success, which will go count towards essentially the extended task here. And I think in this first stage, what you're doing is clearly he has been told that the off-worlders who come, other families are here to prey upon the people, to prey upon the planet, to destroy. And that's what you're taking apart. His sense of you as the enemy, his sense of you as the adversary with a capital A. Um, and I think while he's not particularly communicative at this point, you can tell that you've gotten through to him. What is the religious religiolab? What does that look like on screen? How do we see you using it?
Um, I think in the beginning it's me asking him about his religion because I think that's something he would be forthcoming about, like proud about even maybe. And as I do, I sort of slot in the different components on each level on the Religilab, and it projects onto like the ceiling in the ceiling, and it has like in the center maybe like every world that has that particular kind of religion on it, and there's probably like hundreds or something like that. So he's kind of like
And I'll tell you something else that you will pick up here in talking to this guy. It's just in the way that he says some things and the things that he does mention. He's clearly interacted with a Bene Gesserit. And there could be Bene Gesserits here, but they would not be acting necessarily in official capacity. But it does suggest to you that there might be a Bene Gesserit somewhere in the city.
Just like in the way that the religious or the religion clearly seems manufactured by them.
No, more like his phrasing, like he's maybe picked that up from them.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound to you like the Bene Gesserit are the ones that taught him, but that he's clearly interacted with someone from the sisterhood to have caught some of the ways that he says some of the words and phrases and so on.
So they're an additional force that have been like acting on him recently.
Maybe.
Can I spend a momentum?
Well, yeah, you could spend a momentum to ask another question.
Oh, I want to know that.
Okay, what is the question? Phrase it to me.
Have the Bene Gesserit been an active force in his life recently?
No, he's interacted with them, but you can tell they're not part of any of the like shaping or indoctrination that he's done. Maybe even that they've maybe been poking and questioning him about it.
Cool.
He might not even realize that they were Bene Gesserit.
Oh, of course not. The fool.
The fool.
They don't advertise themselves for good reasons.
Serafina, let's have you call a scene. Do you want to have it with another PC? Do you want to do an NPC? What do you want to do here?
Well, I'd like to have a scene that's about starting to establish our legal system.
Okay.
The first skeletons of that, and so perhaps that is with some community leaders that we have found. And
Mulav has brought some people. Maybe we see a montage of them coming to meet with you, and you getting names and things like that. They've been acting to get people from the different neighborhoods to kind of identify people who might be willing to act. So once you know these people, what are you doing?
I'm trying to separate the people who are just doing what they have to do to get by, versus those who are essentially hardened criminals or are unlikely to cooperate with us under any circumstance. And I am I'm trying to work with the former and cow the latter.
Okay.
I am emphasizing the amnesty that we have offered, and basically indicating that, I am showing them how they're, for example, with the smugglers, that their prosperity may, they can make money under licensure, doing much of what they do now. And in exchange for a modest tax, they'll have the protection of the house. And they'll have recourse in case their goods are if in case they're attacked, their goods are stolen.
So we got two things. We got two things here. One task is meeting with the smugglers and getting them on board, but the other task is like setting up the legal system. So which one do you want to start with?
Well, I'll go with what Mulav indicated, which is that the first thing we need is we need a court system.
Okay, so
we need so I'll need to deputize marshals to basically put down what the big laws. These are the important laws. We'll get to everything else later.
So what do you think is your appropriate drive and skill combo for this extended task?
This first one here, law is going to be about justice, and I think it's about understanding.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'll go with communication because I think
you are talking to people. Yeah,
social awareness also.
Yeah, I think your focus would apply there. So that's a 13, and 7s or less will get you 2 successes.
I'll spend 1 momentum out of the pool.
Okay.
And I am going to spend my determination.
And your other determination. That's a good thing. And it does apply.
That's why I've got to.
That's smart.
Because that was not great. And that is 3 successes.
That is 3 successes. So that's 3 successes towards this task. I think that probably, as you say, is getting separated out the people who you can work with from the people that you can't. And I think that part of what goes on is getting a clearer sense of the different clans that are operating and figuring out like what is their goal, kind of how are they organized. And certainly you will definitely how do I put this, get a clear sense that these Haida folk are they're pretty dangerous.
Yes.
The others are small fries, or they're the kind of your leads to the scrappers and things like that. And I think you'll get a sense of that underworld there. So I think that's the first steps. There are a number of people who are willing to do this, who are willing to commit if you will back them up. They're willing to do things, to watch out, to become community people.
And perhaps even a little help striking at the Haida.
Yeah.
Because the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to Ismina.
So Ismina, let's have you call a scene now.
Okay, so if Serafina has started on the law front, then can she be talking to, well, I'm not sure if she should be talking to smugglers. Is there something I can do that is helpful in that direction, that is like
tracking down the smugglers? You could do that.
Yeah, tracking them down / looking at their defenses, seeing if there's a way that maybe I think she would want to see if like there's any way we can get some upper ground in these negotiations. Like, is there some way that I can undermine their defenses in a way that is let them
investigation
know?
Yeah. What do you think is appropriate for you hitting the streets and trying to suss out these smugglers?
If I'm just trying to find information, then it sounds like I'd understand, but I think she's looking for their defenses specifically to be like, how can I take them out easily.
Okay.
So I think it feels like battle strategy.
Okay, so that'll shape the kinds of questions that you can ask. And
Yeah.
what is the drive you think that's appropriate here?
I think this is for, I think this is still duty.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Then that is a 15 or less. I don't think your focus applies, but 2d10 and 15 or less.
Okay. Hey.
So that's 2 successes. So I will tell you that you will get a name for the person who is like that keeps popping up when you're looking at the smugglers, that they are clearly the linchpin, the smuggler captain that you have to deal with, and their name is Rahida.
Okay.
And so what you have 2 successes, so you have 2 questions. What is it that you want to know about? What is the thing you want to know?
I want to know if there's some way we can hinder their operations or their defenses.
Okay.
And then let them know, like, this is us. So if you would like to
So
stop.
I'll tell you the vulnerability there.
Yeah.
And then you can ask your follow-up question. So you can tell that the smugglers aren't launching from inside the city. They definitely have their ships and things outside, probably a little closer to the Grav anomaly, just because that scrambles any kind of sensors, it hampers visual detection, all of that. What that means is that stuff comes into the city, and then there's that passage of transport from the city to where the smugglers are at. And it's that point, that sort of caravan moving goods from the city, out in the kind of a little bit of the Badlands out to there, that is the point at which the smugglers are vulnerable. And if you can choke that off, identify the direction those caravans have to go, either blast those roads or put people on there, then you can get a hold of that. What's your second question?
My second question is kind of like, who is Rahida? What is their deal? Do we know why they're in this? Like, are they just really good at it, or are they a local folk hero?
They're definitely not a local folk hero. They are definitely someone who has taken advantage of the situation. The sense you get the story that you will get is that they were somebody who was maybe a merchant or supplier or something to the house that left. And when they left, they were out in the cold. And they immediately turned to figuring out what goods could still be produced here that they could get out from underneath the nose of the Imperium and get them shifted over. And that they've worked a combination of chemicals, dyes, gravatic materials, meaning materials that have a heavier gravity than they ought to, from out of there. And they've continued on. They of course don't like the Imperium. They also don't like the scrappers. That's a separate group, the people who are just coming down to strip stuff off, because that's that works against what they're trying to do. They would like this civilization, this society to stay, to have coin and to manufacture things, but tearing it apart is not their game.
Okay.
Does that seem like
So
fair info?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Because I think she just kind of wanted to get in, like, is this their passion, their way of life, or can they maybe be bought off? Like, are they really? So yeah, it sounds more like the latter than being
Yeah. We've got about maybe 10 minutes left before I have to stop because the power will go out. So can we do like maybe a scene with the three of you, like an interaction scene there? Um, Stahl, what is your meeting room look like in this place now that you've had a little bit of time to set some things up? What do we see on screen?
Maybe a table that automatically reconfigures itself for when people sit down so that they have to face each other no matter what.
Like the chairs
And
are kind of built into it, yeah, and they
yeah.
change the angles of viewing. Okay.
And probably like banners on each side for the house and like a comic wave sounds and stuff like that.
Okay. Theological white noise generator. Okay. So Serafina, you had said you want to do a scene. So let's have, when the camera comes into this room with the three of you at this table, what are you saying? You are muted.
When Hayden gets back in, we're going to want to hear from him, but Ismina, I think our first and most important target is clear, and I point to some spots on the map. These are these are businesses that the Haida either control or have extorted into cooperating with them. So in order to be the law here, we need to supplant the law such as it is that exists here. And I think the best place to start with is with the most powerful gang. If we can dispossess them, then we can show that they don't have power anymore and that there's a different boss in town.
that
We
would
can.
be a good argument. That would be a good argument to bring to the smuggler captain as well, to show them that we're good on whatever offers we have to them.
Yes. If we, with some of these businesses, we may be able to basically compel them away. Others will have to persuade. But if we can pick off enough of them, then the Haida will be forced to strike at us. And then we can bloody them good and properly. But I consider that our strategy should be to, but I have to leave a lot of this up to you as to how best to provoke them by raiding by basically raiding them until they can't stand the losses anymore, and gauging when and where they're most likely to strike back at us and ambush them.
And to kind of lay on the things you discovered last time, when you look at the map, certainly corresponds to those businesses and choke points that you identified last time, as Mina. Like these are the businesses that kind of surround those crucial points.
Yeah, I think she just sort of nods, like as what Seraphine is saying. This sounds like an excellent strategy. It may change, like a siege approach would be excellent if we knew nothing about them, but we might have something that the Haida clan might find valuable. And she kind of looks at the empty chair where Hayden is not. And so I think she is kind of like, we may need to improvise should the balance shift in our favor. We might not have to spend all the time to bleed them out if there are yet unknowns to be discovered.
You're absolutely right. But my overriding thought is that we have to make the cost of business for them go up to an unacceptable level if we can't do it another way, so that they either have to act or pull out. And I don't think they're capable of doing the latter. From what I've heard, they have a very set and settled mentality. They're very straightforward. Intimidate by violence sort of strategy, and we can use that against them.
And just a second.
Well, let me ask Stahl, what do you have input on this, or what are you telling them about your debriefing and what you've learned?
I would say our oldest enemy is at play, the Bene Gesserit.
Really?
The spider.
That's bad news.
Yes, there's some phrasing and odd syntax that the prisoners use that they would otherwise not have been able to consume down here and regurgitate.
You're the expert. That's very bad. It's bad enough if they're just here to observe. It's dreadful if they're here to intervene in some way.
Is there, well, and also of the false messiah that our previous house left us, is there some way that you, if we're getting hold of their minds via the trade routes, is there any other way we can capture their hearts? Is there a narrative that we should be spreading to combat this one?
I think I have to further unpack the prisoner and to be able to form a counter strategy. We're just in the beginning.
Okay, if there's any key phrases we should be dropping as we are dismantling things, let us know.
I'll try to be aware in my dealings with the community people. But so those were not pawns of the Bene Gesserit. It was too unsubtle, I imagine.
It seems like they're a peripheral. Hopefully Hayden doesn't run amok into them.
Good. Hopefully that is that's a threat that we can deal with later rather than sooner, once we have a little more of a grip on the
hopefully.
more.
Yeah, well, it depends how long they've been here, I guess. I guess we just have to hope that they got here relatively around the same time that we did, or a little bit before. Probably, I imagine that the last house when they pulled out, that seems like a prime time for them to come down and start spinning webs.
Yes. I've managed to put together the very beginnings of marshal service here, with and have a number of people who can, who are trusted enough and to act on behalf of the house in adjudicating the law, at least for the few laws that we have established. but manpower is going to still largely be soldiers for the most part, especially if we take on the smugglers, if you suggested, Espina.
Yeah, we may need to deal with these things simultaneously, but if a priority emerges, it makes sense to go for the to cement our control on the gangs and show that there is an established order that has a more capital O than the one they're used to currently.
Or at least that there's a bigger gang in town.
I think that's where we're going to stop. We will bring that up. We'll go over who our factions are next time, right at the beginning, and we will give Hayden a chance to set some things up. I might figure out about a love letter kind of thing so that they can have some effects between, and we'll go then. Thank you all so much. I'm not going to do Stars and Wishes. We'll do that next time. And thank you so much. And I have to turn this off and go get a lamp. It's a flashlight. So thank you. I will see everybody. I'll see a couple of you on Saturday for masks. I will see you, and have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow's Friday, so that is lovely. All right, bye.
Thanks, Lowell. Good luck.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.